When dating, it's a whole different ball game. You just get to know the person, build trust, and over time you can start to say, okay, I earn so and so amount, or
Oh, let me put it this way. When dating, it's not on day two of your date that you're going to be saying something like, my parents have a trust fund of like $5 million for me.
what kind of foolishness is
I
that?
can tell you, that guy or that lady,
they're not going nowhere.
Even if they're not feeling you, they're stuck.
Died there. Hey people, it's Abisola.
What's going on, people? Seyi here, Oko Abisola.
AKA, that just means Seyi is my husband.
Yep, and we're your co-hosts on Life and Some Jara.
But before you think this is another relationship podcast, we've got so much more in store for you on money, side gigs, and living your best life. You shall get the gist.
Exactly, and all this content comes from you, our listeners, through surveys that you complete.
And trust us to add our own Jara,
Yep.
a little extra here and there.
Of course, so stay tuned.
You are listening to episode 5 of Life and Some Jara.
Yeah, welcome, guys.
So today's topic is love and money.
Yeah.
Get it? Love in basketball? Love and
No,
get it?
no, wait, no, that's a dry joke, okay? Like, come on, that
No.
assuming it was a newer movie, then we'll get it. Love and basketball, really? Nah,
Okay.
love and money, okay.
Love and money. Okay, so I'll tell you how this episode got born, I guess. So I was reading a blog post on WordPress, us blogger community, we read each other's blog posts. And I was reading this one where the lady wrote about money in relationships. And I was like, okay, this is right down my alley. Let me hear what she has to say. So I'm reading. I'm like, sis, where are you going with this?
So what was she saying?
The thing was just really confusing me. She was trying to say that, each party should fairly share the bills, right? So if he earns more than her, it's unfair for him to ask her to pay more than a certain proportion of the income.
Wow. Okay.
It was just a whole confusing mathematical equation going on in that
So
post.
what?
Like, it was like...
our income squared raised to the power of what?
and the square root of the factorial of it was
That's
just
amazing.
like, come on, and so, and then there was the arguments of, the 50-50 split is fair. And then some other people were like, no, it's a percentage. So I was like, okay, well, let me write my comments on the blog post. And I was
Wait,
like,
you yourself, you didn't even know. You just went to write on like the blog post where they're already doing this mathematical equation.
I mean, hey, like I was like, let me write how I handle money in my relationships now, like engagements and all of that. You have to comment. So I went and wrote my comments and I was like, well, in my relationship, generally, I don't really mind who's paying for what. And he doesn't mind who's paying for what either, because at the end of the day, it's our money now. Kilo matter.
It's
What's
going
the
out of the
bikini
same
big
pot.
deal? So I'm like, it really doesn't matter. Like, we pay for whoever pays for what. It's our money, period. And her people came for me and she came for me like, I hear what you're saying, but no, it has to be fair as fair. I've not yet experienced life. So a lot of people say these things like, my approach is so simplistic. Like, mioti raye, I've not yet, life has not shown me.
Life.
I've not experienced life. Like, life can be very tricky. And I sort of get it. And it actually reminded me of Gabrielle Union's story. When I read her book, one of those, I forget the name, it's one of those becoming type of books. Becoming something, I don't know what the title was anymore. But I remember her talking about her experience with her I think it was her ex-husband or ex-fiancé, something. And it was just a terrible situation with her money. She was the rich one in the relationship, unlike now where her husband is the rich one in the relationship. But she was the rich one then, she was making all the money. And unfortunately, the divorce just made things really messy and took away all her money. And so I can see how someone like that may be like, okay, let's revisit this whole my money, your money situation.
So now she has a square root calculation, something for her relationship.
I mean, they definitely have a prenup before anything serious even started.
They actually have a prenup?
Yeah,
wow,
like,
interesting.
Straight up prenup, because she was like, I get it, like, whatever.
Yeah, that's weird. Hey, no, I'm not judging.
You don't
I
even
can't
judge
say
anyone because
so.
everyone has their situation. She's experienced stuff in the past, and I don't even fault her for being in that situation. But anyway, today we're talking about love and money.
All right. So Bisola's giving you a very good introduction about how we came up with this topic, right? And so let's decide to go and so we decided to say, okay, you know what? Let's really spend some time getting some information about this topic. Cause money is kind of the number one cause of divorce in a lot of marriages. Mm-hmm. And so let's understand, how do people that are dating or people that are married handle money, right? So when you look at the older generation, there's sort of a difference between the way they handled it. I mean, we've heard stories about things like the man takes care of majority of the bills and the lady takes care of like the lesser bills, right? And okay, we wanted to find out, is this still what is happening among the different
It's
ages?
happening, I tell you. It's happening.
Wow, okay. Yeah, but anyway, so yeah, we gathered a lot of information, and I will tell you, first of all, we had a lot of very diverse approaches. I mean, like, people handle money in different ways.
Yeah. And thank you to everyone who answered our surveys on Instagram, on our website. Amazing, amazing responses. We
Yeah,
got
thank you.
responses from, I mean, obviously the United States because most of our network is here. We also got responses from Nigeria, Hungary, Italy, Senegal, and a few other random ones here and there.
So to our listeners and followers in Hungary and Italy, wow, you're amazing. Like,
You all
well,
rock.
everybody's
To
amazing,
everyone,
but
you
yeah,
all
we didn't
rock.
even know we had in Europe. So thanks.
Thank you.
All right, now let's get into this. So we ask questions like, who should pay the bill? Will you share a bank account or maybe keep a secret bank account? Will you help your spouse pay off their debt? You know, student loan crisis and whatnot. Or how much details about your spending will you share with your significant other? So once again, this was for both dating and married, right?
So how about we start with the married folks and then we'll talk about the dating folks
Cool.
afterwards. Okay. So I know you guys want to know the answer straight up to one of the questions that Seyi mentioned, where we asked, would you keep a secret bank account from your significant other?
Yeah.
And thankfully, praise the Lord, Oluwaseun, nobody said yes. Everyone said that, no, of course not. I won't keep a secret bank account from my significant other, which I was like, woof, thank God. So legit, like, I know like legit, there are times when I think it's okay
Wait.
to keep an account from
slow down. You think it's okay to keep a secret
it goes back
account?
to what I described at the
wait, do you
beginning.
have a secret account from me?
Oh
Let's
no,
hear
I
it.
wish. God, please, I wish I have a secret account. That would be quite nice. I really wish, but I don't. But it goes back to what I was saying at the beginning, that every scenario and everyone's experiences is different. And I thought about when I was younger, I had this uncle and he was a very rich uncle. He did a lot of like contracts for the government. So his job was not like every month he's getting a salary. It was like when I land a gig, I'm getting, when I say a huge pay.
Wait, how come I don't know this your uncle? Can you connect me with
Connection,
him? Like, I
cool.
can build a website for him or a mobile app.
Oh boy. So anyway, I'm not really in touch with him anymore. So anyway, so yeah, he was super rich. But all we know was once uncle, like he used to be featured in the national news and everything for his work. And all we know was once uncle's money comes in, like uncle is bringing in luxury cars. I'm talking the Jeeps
Range
and the
Rover,
Range Rovers,
Tesla.
whatever.
Well, Tesla is
all
not
of
luxury,
that.
but you get the
Yeah,
idea.
he was bringing it in. Like he was so obsessed with cars. So once his money comes in, he's bringing in a car. And then in a month, the money runs out and uncle is back to, do you have anything for me right there? Do you have anything for me? And his wife was a hustler. Like she would go buy things and resell, and she was
Wow.
always working. And like they barely had food to eat after he squanders the money.
Wow.
If
on
I
cars.
were uncle's wife, let me tell you, I am having many secret bank accounts because you can't just burn my hard-earned money on a luxury
Okay, I
car
get
that
it.
has no value after you drive it off. So yeah, in that scenario,
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
like guys, some people who are addicted to like gambling, for example.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
Until you pray to the Lord to heal your situation, or you
and
go
you run
seek,
away from the
or
gambling
you go
house.
seek medical help or whatever it is you need. I am keeping my account secret from you.
Yeah. No, I mean, I hear you. I think you're right. Like, there are some situations where if either spouse is not a very good person with money, for the sake of your family, right, you want to have reserves to make
Yep.
sure that you're not in a situation that you don't want to be in
You're
the
not
long
homeless.
term. Well,
Yeah.
exactly, right? But
Yeah.
but no, yeah, that's a good point. But actually, now that you mentioned that, it kind of reminds me of that movie Chief Daddy that was all the rave like earlier this year.
God.
It was about this Nigerian chief, I guess, that he passed away, and all of a sudden, all his family kept coming, and secrets kept being revealed. The one thing that struck me there was the guy had an adopted daughter, like a whole human being. He had an adopted daughter that he
Yeah.
was sponsoring, like sending to school, buying
Yeah.
cars for. And I'm like,
And
Wait,
his
hold up.
wife or wives had no idea about her.
How didn't they know? Like, don't they talk about money?
Obviously, no one knew anything about his finances. All they knew was that he was rich.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah, and that
Yeah.
was
And that was
weird.
messed up. And why are
No,
we
no,
even
no.
talking about Chief Daddy right now? Because that movie was like
Okay,
100%
yeah.
ridiculous.
Oh, yeah. Okay, fine. Let's move on.
Yes.
Okay, right. But I think in summary, right, like the question of will you keep a secret bank account? Everybody said no, they won't. And it's great because in any kind of relationship, having secret accounts does not build trust. All right, so what about when dating, right?
When dating, it's a whole different ball game. You are not mandated to share details of your accounts or your financial situation with your significant other. And I
Right?
think really what I would say is just like it's to just get to know the person, build trust, and over time you can start to say, okay, I earn so and so amount, or
Oh, let me put it this way. When dating, it's not on day 2 of your date that you're going to be saying something like, my parents have a trust fund of like $5 million for me.
what kind of foolishness is
I
that?
can tell you, that guy or that lady,
They're not going nowhere.
even if they're not feeling you, they're
They
stuck.
died there.
Yeah, but no, yeah, Bisola is right? You want to kind of get a feel of the person and gradually reveal more about, who you are. And you don't even need to go into the full details until you guys have committed that, okay, you know what? I want to stick with this person. I want to get married to this person or whatever the case might be.
I think what is most important for dating couples is to talk about, just in general, your approach to money and observe. It's not just about the talk. Observe how he's spending money. Is he buying a new phone every other day? Is he eating out every breakfast, afternoon, and evening? Like, how is he spending and managing his own money? So when you combine yours with his or yours with hers, is it just going to be everything is going to be wiped out the next day? And not only observing that, but it's also talking about the plan for your future. If you're planning towards marriage, start talking about what are our plans? How are we planning to spend money? How are we planning to invest? How are we planning to track? How do you track right now?
Those are some serious questions that dating couples should ask. Like, wow.
If money is the number one cause of divorce, then you might want to start talking about it sooner than later.
Yeah. Okay. So back to the rest of the questions, right? So even if people don't keep secret accounts from their significant others, we ask them, so would you share an account with your spouse or with your the person you're dating, or would you keep a separate account?
I mean, it's a no-brainer, obviously. Like, if you're dating or you're engaged, like, sister, brother, keep your money to yourself. Don't start sharing us. It's not public. It's not share. Why are you sharing your money? Keep your money in your account. Like, there's nothing legally binding you guys together. So chill. The time will come when you will share. I mean,
yeah, but I mean, it sounds like that's advice you're giving. But why? Why shouldn't I share my account with the person
guy
I'm
can
dating?
just walk up and leave the next day, and booyah, you just lost your money. So,
well, then you call the police, but you don't want to deal with that stress,
it's so
right?
unnecessary. Like, you guys are not legally together. You're not legally one. So just keep your assets separate until you become one.
Yeah, that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what about those that are married, right?
For the married ones, Emma, the responses were kind of complicated. I'm gonna turn it over to you because they were kind of all over the place in 3 groups, really. So tell us about the 3 groups.
Okay, so I think kind of so I said there were 3 groups, right? One group was like absolutely never. Like actually 15% of people are like, I will never share an account with my spouse.
Someone was like, lie, never, over my dead body.
Over their dead body. Like, wow, this is somebody you love.
Yeah, this is supposedly someone you love and want to spend the rest of your life with.
Well, apparently she was coming from the perspective that, I mean, if she's trying to buy a nice shoe for herself, she doesn't want the guy to kind of like be tracking her spending.
I can see that.
No, I don't see that. Okay, like what kind of shoe are you trying to buy?
I mean, we got to take care of ourselves every now and then. I'm just messing around.
Yeah, I know.
Don't even mind.
Anyways, okay, so 15% of people said no, they never want to share an account with their spouse. Another 20% of people said, we must share every single account. Like, no, he must have my password. I must have his password. My name must be on everything. And I'm like, yo, bro, sis, that's kind of weird. Like, come on. I like the spirit of the approach. Like, you want to share information, but it's just complex. So that means if you want to sign a loan, everybody must be there. Or if you want to...
I don't see the big deal. I think if it works for them, go for it.
It's not a big deal. It just sounds like it can be difficult to manage. I don't know. I guess they make it work, which is not
Yeah,
bad.
whatever works for people, you do you.
Yep. The vast majority of people, right? 65% of the people we surveyed said, you know what? I'll go ahead and share an account with my spouse, right? But then it's fine to also keep a separate account. Like, I mean, I don't have to put my spouse on every single account as long as they're aware that, okay, this account exists, right? Like,
I mean, true, I guess. I'm not even sure why we keep them separate anyway, because Shay knows all my passwords. Shay can sell me like at a heartbeat. He even knows my signature, like so
well, you
creepy.
mean like you taught me your signature and you
And
told
he's
me your
so
passwords?
accurate. Like he gets it so accurately. It's like legit creepy, but
Hey, well, anyways, hey, yeah, but no, I mean, you know the passwords to my account
I
anyway, so it's
used
the
to
same
once
thing.
upon a time.
I don't think I changed. Well, oh yeah, I did change it. Well, that was for security purposes,
Why are we
okay?
even talking about this again?
I guess. Anyways, moving back. So yeah,
Oh,
couples
so
do.
related to that, right? We asked the question about like, would you share your passwords with your significant other? And one of the options was like, some people said no, right? They said like,
Yeah, no, I
no, they
think.
said yeah, I'll share, but like I'll change it like right after, like
Oh
two
yeah,
minutes after. I'm gonna
yeah.
change it. Like I don't trust you.
I guess.
So for me,
Anyways,
the general idea is that whatever belongs to me, it also belongs to my husband. I don't have the concept of it's my money or it's your money. Like it's our money, and I'm happy to spend my money on my husband or have him spend out of my account or vice versa or have me pay for meals when we go out. When we became married, we became one. And for me, once we're one, my money is your money. What am I using money to do that's outside of you? Like when we're saving for our future,
right,
right? It's
right.
like we're saving for us growing old together and enjoying this money together. That at the end of the day, when you think about it, what do you want to use the money for? That's outside of your wife or outside of your husband. And you have to really think about it. When you save all this money and you do that at the risk or expense of losing your spouse, don't let me speak Yoruba now because that's why I speak. That's what wants to come out of my mouth. That's why I speak when I'm passionate.
Oh yeah,
Kí lẹ fẹ́
sis.
fowó yẹn- kí lẹ fẹ́ fowó yẹn ṣe? What do
Meaning,
you
what do
want
you want
to
to use
use
the
the
money
money
for?
to do? Really? And you when you think about people, like think about those rich people, right?
Right.
That are like stinky rich and they end up taking away their lives. It tells you that money doesn't do everything for you.
I mean, true. No,
I
I'll
mean,
tell
it
you,
does a
money
lot.
answers a lot, though.
It does do a lot. That's true. But it doesn't do everything. At the end of the day, your core joy and happiness, it comes from relationships. Relationship
That
with
is
God, relationship with people that you're close to, whether it's your spouse, if you're married, or
Preach
your
it,
family.
sister.
I'm not going to preach. So we're going to move on to the next point.
I guess. All right, guys, we're going to take a break now to tell you something really nice and spicy and amazing. Trust me, you want to listen very carefully.
Okay, guys, we are having our podcast launch party. It's coming up on Saturday, November 9th, 2019. When I say I'm hyped, we're pumped, we're excited. It's going down, you guys. Bites by Rennie will be catering or cooking or chefing, whatever you guys want to say. She's bringing the food for the
Food
day.
will be amazing.
Amazing. I mean, if you've eaten her food before, you know what we're talking about. She's the caterer in the DMV area. So she's bringing it live for us. Ayo Baddest, he'll be the DJ on the beats for the night.
You guys will be moving non-stop.
Moving, and we'll have lots of games, laughter, good conversation. Trust me,
Did we
you
say
don't
it's
want to
free?
miss this. It's going to be free, but I will tell you something. It's free this time, but the next event ain't gonna be free because
Wait, before that, the tickets are selling
the
fast.
tickets are going fast
Yeah.
because obviously it's a free event and we only have limited space and we want you there. So please register. The link is going to be on the episode notes and it will be located in Silver Spring, Maryland. Again, it's on November 9th, 2019 in Silver Spring, Maryland. Come join us to party at our podcast launch.
Yep, guys, we can't wait to see you there.
Excited.
All right, so the next point, right? This is now the question that kind of inspired everything, right? So who should pay the bills in the relationship? How should bills be handled during the relationship, right? Or for those that are dating, who should pay whenever you guys hang out, right? Once again, answers were mixed here. Like some people are like, oh, the person with the larger income should pay a larger percentage. Others were like, let's split everything 50-50. But I would say majority of the people said, you know what, we're in this as a team. We're just going to set up a shared account and all bills get paid from that shared account. Like, let's make it straightforward and simple.
Yeah.
And when I think about it, right, for the 30% of people that said, you know what, the person with a higher percentage of the income pays a higher percentage of the bills. I mean, I get it, right, in the spirit of fairness, but when you really think about it, like, so what if the next person gets a raise? Do you now recalculate the percentages?
Mm,
Or what if then they get a bonus at the end, in the middle of the year or at the end of the year? Then what percentage of what bill comes out of what
mm-hmm,
percentage of the bonus? Like,
mm-hmm.
or even the one of what if they're working an extra job to, help and make ends meet? Then
Right.
now are they paying more because they're working an extra
Yeah.
job for
And
the family? And
I
it's,
can understand how this money topic easily leads to like disagreements in marriage because this is getting my head is even hurting on behalf of people that are doing these complicated calculations
yeah,
because
I mean, the way I see it is you guys are a team, right? You have your
yeah.
goals, you have your dreams, and you set your goals and you work together as a team from a money
Mm-hmm.
perspective, right?
Yeah, but going back to the example that I mentioned at the beginning of the episode about the lady whose blog post I read, there's some more context to it, right? So if she's a woman who was divorced and has a son from the previous marriage and now she's with a new husband and she has to think about herself and her son. And
I guess she
for
wanted to
her it's
set up
like
her son,
security.
right?
Yeah, it's like if this guy messes me up, I need to make sure my son is okay.
Makes
And I
sense.
can see where she's coming from. But for me, I think that a better approach will be to openly discuss with a new husband about you know uh,
To discuss with the new husband that, hey, here's what I want I want to
yeah,
take care
and
of my son,
yeah,
and
here are my concerns, here are
yeah.
my fears. I want to make sure my son is okay and he's well set up for success in the
And
future.
if the new husband has a child from the previous marriage or from anything, like he
Yeah,
can bring his concerns. And
yeah.
for example, both of them could have committed to put in a trust, an education
A
fund for
college
their kid,
fund.
or
Yeah, a college fund for the boy. And, if he's a man who is truly invested in his new son,
yeah.
he
And it
would
shows
gladly do,
commitment. Actually,
you
you're
would
right.
gladly do it. But yeah, you know what? I'm going to ease your fears. Why don't we set aside this for our son because he's my son now? Let's set aside an account for his college fees. And, instead of trying to do, no, I will hold this money, I will hold that, just
Babe,
talking through about things.
babe, I think you can be a good relationship coach. Like,
You
wow, you're making
know,
a lot of sense.
yeah.
But yeah, no, I agree with you, and that's kind of our approach, right? Kind of as I said, we're a team, and we both have our goals, and we create a budget. We put
Yeah.
everything we want to accomplish in the budget, whether it's from a savings perspective, from an investment perspective,
Or
from
from my dresses from ASOS perspective.
oh come on, yeah, sure, whatever. Okay, from buying nice shoes for her.
I'm actually not even a shoe person. I don't
Actually,
really.
that's true. You just buy
I don't.
dresses.
Yeah, I like dresses, but I
I
don't really
guess.
shop for shoes.
Anyways, the long and short is we put it in a budget and we both try to make sure we stick to our budget, right?
Yeah, I agree. So let's move on to those who are dating or engaged, And,
So
and
how
the
do you pay
question
the
is,
bills while dating,
who pays
right?
for most of the spendings
Oh yeah,
when you go out
spending.
for dates and all of that? So some ladies are like, hey, I can pay for myself. I'm a strong, feminine, independent woman. Hey, shit, I'm an independent woman.
Oh
Meanwhile,
my.
some other ladies are like, I want the guy to sweep me off my feet and treat me like a queen. Okay, I hear you.
Okay,
I
princess.
think so. I think there should be a balance, right? So you give and you take. Life is not all about receiving. And life is not all about me, and me. If you are asking the guys to give you all these things? What are you doing to sweep him off his feet as well? Because Shebe Yonlobi is not.
Somebody born here.
You can't even translate that.
It was he has a mother too, right? I
He too
guess.
is a human being,
Oh, there you go.
So he also wants to be taken care of. And yeah, think about what am I doing for him. I mean, it doesn't even have to be like a gifted. It doesn't have to be like a gifty kind of person. It's like just being thoughtful.
So
and
like,
taking,
it's not every time the guy pays for dinner. Maybe you pay for dinner
yeah,
sometimes.
you can pay for dinner sometimes, and if you feel uncomfortable about it, or he feels uncomfortable about it,
I actually think it's when you're dating, you guys can actually split 50-50. Like, oh yeah, you take 50% of the
actually, it's not that straightforward.
No, actually,
in
let
the
me put
dating
it this
world,
way.
though.
Let me
It's
put it this
really
way.
not.
I'll pay for the shrimps, you pay for the turkey, and I'll pay for the gravy, you pay. All right. Anyways, I'm being facetious.
It's
But
not that straightforward. So, I mean, some guys really just don't like the women to pay while they go out on dates. But I think you can also show that, I like you and I want to spend my money on you. And it doesn't even have to be anything like expensive watches or shoes or whatever. Like, if he likes football, you can get him tickets to football games.
in essence, you're saying just be generous with your money, even as the guy is being generous,
yes,
right?
Yes. Don't always, just in general, life is not about you. Don't always be on the receiving end. Always, give as well.
Nice. All right. So for the third question, right? And guys, we had four questions. This is the third one. So for those that are dating or married, right? I guess this applies more to the married, but still, how do you guys track your spending? Like, how do you know what your spouse is spending on, or I guess do you know what your boyfriend or girlfriend is spending on? And I guess we'll start with dating, right? So from what we heard, right, it's not really the place of the person to say, okay, why are you buying this shoe? I mean, when you're dating the person, like, oh, why are you buying this car or something? Like, I mean, it's nice to know what the person is spending on, but it's not your place to monitor everything. Like, you don't want to be a monitoring spirit, right? However, you do want to make sure the person is financially responsible, right? Because you don't want to date somebody and then decide, okay, let me get married, and then all of a sudden this person is just blowing both your incomes on just random things. So when you're dating, you want to observe the patterns and see if the person is financially responsible, and do they have goals, and are they doing things that will help them reach their goals, right?
Yep. For Shay and I, when we were dating, we used to go on nice outings, but they were always within reason, within our, individual incomes. And those incomes were nothing. Lord Jesus was our helper. Like, struggle was real in those days, but really we just did things that were within our means. But now
I was always buying you like beautiful things, taking you out at the beginning of the month. And at the end of the month, when the budget, I'd kind of finish. That's when I'll be cooking for her, creating in-house experiences,
in-house experiences. But now that we're married, the whole budgeting is a big deal in how we manage our finances. So, for example, we can have a bucket that says given, right? So if our given budget, is whatever X amount, Shay doesn't have to monitor, and I don't have to say, oh, I gave $20 to a friend. So, it's within, as long as it's within that bucket, we're fine. Or if there's a bucket that says entertainment or feeding, and I go to the grocery store and I go buy some food, I don't have to tell Shay, okay, it was $25 though.
There's this part of our budget you always monitor, my lunch at work.
Because he be going over. He always uses my portion. That ain't right. He always uses, like, by the time I'm like, oh, let me go out for lunch, he's like, oh, I already used up all of it. Like, no.
No, wait, but you know how dresses make you happy? Food makes me
happy. Yes,
exactly.
Thank you for confessing to the world.
I guess.
So yeah, I'm glad you let them know you always rob me of my food at work budget. But,
I guess.
But you guys get the idea. It's like we have a bucket for everything, and as long as we're within that bucket, we have the liberty to do whatever we want to do. Now, once the bucket is full, brother and sister, we have to wait until the next month when the bucket opens up again.
Yeah.
That's how we run our finances.
Yeah. And I mean, our goal really is we want to eventually buy that $1 million house,
That's our goal? Oh, that's our goal?
Oh, my bad. Okay, so let me rephrase. Assuming we want to buy that $1 million
$1 million house is coming up for me, you
or whatever
guys.
the case. Wait, hold up. I didn't say I was buying $1 million house, okay? Anyways, assuming we have a certain goal, right, then we put a lot more into the savings bucket and we just manage our finances that way. But anyways, yeah, enough of that. Okay, so let's move on to the very last question, right? So for this, it kind of ties back to our previous episode. Would you help your significant other pay off their debt? Student loan crisis, I don't know, they have any kind of debt. Would you help them pay off their debt, whether you're dating or married?
Mm-hmm.
So
for the dating folks, y'all already know the answer. The answer is no.
Ouch!
No, you guys,
wait,
no.
But they're in love.
Which kind of stupid, what kind of love you ran with that?
The significant other is struggling to pay off this debt. Come on.
I'll tell you what you can do if you're like madly in love and madly want to help your chick out, or you madly want to help your man out. Like, just pile up that money somewhere. When that love takes you guys to the altar and you sign them papers, go for it. Just go plow your money into their student loans or whatever loans they have and clear off that debt. Because at the end of the day, and moving on to the married folks, his gbese is your gbese.
His debt is your debt.
Is his gbese. And gbese means his debt is your debt.
Yeah.
Your debt is his debt. And when the collection agency comes knocking on the door, at the end of the day, whatever is in both your names is going with them. So,
or if you're in the house and the bank comes to repossess the house,
I mean, you're left homeless. So you have to take care of one another. But if you're dating, don't be too much in a hurry. Don't be too optimistic, or what's the word? Don't be too.
English is not my strong point. I don't know.
Okay, English is my second language at this point.
Anyways, I think your point is like, if you're dating, like, just wait a bit and see where the relationship goes before you put any money behind the guy or the lady, right? Another thing again, if the person doesn't know how to pay off their debt, help them with a budget. Of course, you can tell that this budgeting thing is really, it's like my
That's
power
Shane's
tool.
thing. He loves his Excel spreadsheet.
Oh Lord, the macros, the VLOOKUPs
No.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I know I'm sounding like a geek right now,
Okay,
but
I'm
like,
going to summarize this episode for
my.
everyone listening. So, in summary, the whole topic of love, money, debt, income, these are all topics that I think if you handle them with your significant other in an open way, just talking things through instead of trying to hide, certain money or trying to hoard or trying to store certain monies for yourself. You're not enjoying life that way. At least for me, I can't. It's too stressful. So just openness and, discuss your fears, discuss your concerns. And obviously, if your significant other is not money wise, then please apply wisdom and, hoard on, just store things on. But
until the person becomes money
until
wise.
they become wise and, whatever. So
Yeah, but no, I think so. I agree with you. I agree with you 100%, right? Like, it's really all about openness in a relationship. I mean, yeah, we're talking about money, but really in anything, it's about openness and it's about gradually building that trust with the person. So, money is a great way to actually practice trust building by just being open. So, anyways, I'm not going to preach to y'all, but more importantly, I'm very curious to know what you guys think about like what we said. Like, we've told you how we handle our money.
Yeah.
Do you guys think we're just some people living in the moon with some glassy, I don't know,
or some naive set of people? Like a lot of people describe us as like young and naive.
Hey,
right?
it's worked for us for what, 7 years of marriage now or what?
Well, let us know what you think.
Yeah, so leave a comment on the Instagram page, or if once again you can join our WhatsApp group and let us know.
One more thing before we sign out for the day. If you are enjoying our podcast so far, it's making sense to you, you're getting some giggles here and there, please share our content with someone you think might enjoy it.
Yeah, I'll put it this way. If there's a favorite episode you like and you know somebody that will enjoy that episode, just tell them that, hey,
Just hit the share
listen
button.
to these guys,
Yeah, just hit that share button for us and that would make us happy.
Yep. All right, great. I think this has been fun so far, right?
This has been fun. It's always fun.
Well,
on
it
Life
is
and
always
Jazz.
all.
Hey.
Yay. Oh, no, I didn't say what?
Hey.
All right.
Peace out, y'all.